Hi, everyone. This is Will, aka Dr. Financial Literacy. If you're interested in improving your credit, reducing your credit card, getting a mortgage, helping to reduce your mortgage quickly, then me or my team would love to be able to work with you. My contact information is in the box, so please give me a ring. All right, so today we're going to continue to move along in terms of the new HELOC that I was able to obtain. Today we'll be reviewing a number of sections, and let's go ahead and get started. So one of the other things that they provided me for the HELOC was a temporary coupon. This particular coupon was to be paid on May the 1st, and it was estimated to be $424.28. But as I stated earlier, the payment was $381.85 for 27 days. This is for a full 30 days that they initially estimated in the loan package. Okay. The next section was the privacy section, and it was 3 pages, and it just basically talked about the privacy information, how information collected from me from the credit bureaus, other institutions and organizations, and their rules and regulations. And this went on for about 3 pages. Information that they collect, also cookies and other tracking technology. So whenever I go to their website, how tracked in terms of cookies and technology, how they track it in general. It talks about how they will use the collected information, how we share the information, and who they share the information with. How they attempt to protect my information, links to other websites, children privacy, and updates to this privacy policy. The next section was Service Members Civil Relief Act. In general, it just talked about some of the protections that they provide for civil service members in general. It talks about who may benefit from legal protections, what are the legal protections for service members, how does a service member or dependent get relief under the act. It also talked about how a service member or dependent obtain information about the SCRA, which is the Service Civil Relief Act in general. That went on for about 3 pages. The next section, section 29, dealt with money laundering. It just had me to sign in terms that I will not use the resources for money laundering. Talked about the U.S. Department of Treasury and how they enforce money laundering. It talked about the property itself, and this paragraph, the undersigned certified that the mortgage loan broker or correspondent lender has established an anti-money laundering program that complies with 13 CFR parts for the federal government, that the undersigned loan broker or correspondent lender is in the process of implementing such as a program and will be in compliance with regulations later that are approved. So again, the Anti-Money Laundering Act. As I mentioned before, I'm a political economist. So one of the things that I look at is basically acts, laws, legislation, and how they impact people. Who are the winners, who are the losers? As a political scientist, I look at the interaction in society. So pretty much this is more of some of the more important areas. Whenever you see acts or in general, these are some of the things that I look at and try to inform my clients and others in the community of how they can be impacted. These acts and rules and regulations, the government is very intertwined with the economy. So that's why one of the reasons that and things that I do professionally and personally is study the interaction between the government and society. Next is the borrower certification and consent. It just talks about I have applied for a mortgage. In applying for the loan, I completed a loan application containing information on the purpose of the loan, the amount of the loan, employment and income, and assets and liabilities. It also has a section that I signed authorization to release information. So this section basically is just my consent to provide for the lender to look into other information in regards to this application. The next section is the borrower's tax return information, and that was them pulling my tax returns for at least the last 2 years and seeing how I made profits or losses, addresses, the property, my income, my wage income, and my business income, and other things of that nature. For this particular one, the first paragraph starts off, I understand, acknowledge, and agree that the lender and other loan participants can obtain and use shared tax return information for the purpose of providing this offer, originating this offer, or otherwise permitted by applicable law. And the other loan participants, then I basically signed this, giving them the authority to look at my tax returns. Now, my tax returns included form 4506C, 4506C. So we'll just put that here, 4506C. So this was one of the taxes that they looked at. Is the request for transcripts of tax, which has my social security address, the company that will be looking into it, their location, the mortgage lender, the date that's allowed, and then I had to sign. It included another long page of the form itself, the instructions. A part of that also was the W-9 of the tax payer, which is me, request for identification number and certification. So they looked at form W-9. Oh, well, sorry, so small. Form W-9 was another tax form that they looked at. General instructions that went along with form W-9. Another page of general instructions that went along with form W-9. So that was a total about 6 pages, I think, dealing with form W-9. And lastly was hazardous insurance, aka homeowners insurance. I already had homeowners insurance on the property, so it was a matter of me contacting the insurance company, putting the lender on the insurance company also as a recipient if something happened to the home. They looked at the value of the home under the policy that I had. They looked at the coverage, the insurance company. They looked at the policy, all forms of endorsement, the lender loss payable endorsement. So if something happened, the lender will also be able to get some money from if there's some sort of fire hazardous in general. And this is a paragraph. If the security property is a condominium, the master policy must contain a minimum of $1 million coverage. So also, because it's a townhome, I had to go back to my condominium association and get their master policy also and send it to the lender. So I had to send my individual policy, and also because I live in a townhome, condominium, row houses in general, I had to also get what's called a master insurance policy. So those were the sections that we covered today. Temporary coupon where they estimated at $428. There was the privacy policy, information about me, Service Member Relief Act of how service members may be served throughout it, anti-money laundering, make sure that I wasn't money laundering in general, a borrower certificate, borrower's tax return. Also, so be prepared to provide your tax return. In general, I had to provide it, so I think it may be customary. One of the things that the difference between a mortgage and a HELOC, HELOC is a little bit more flexible, so they don't have as many stringent rules and regulations that the government is following in general. Hazardous insurance, basically my homeowner's insurance. So again, this has been Will, AKA your local political economist. Thank you very much for stopping in. Have a great day. See you in the next section, next part. Bye-bye.